Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today's video is my long-term 6-month ownership review of my GLA 45 AMG. Okay guys, I've owned the GLA 45 about 6 months now. It is March of 2017. We had, it's actually 30 degrees today and freezing. We had, a crazy February where we had a foot of snow, and then we had a couple 65-degree days, which were great because I was able to shoot some videos. I did the M Roadster with the S54 engine. I did a supercharged E92 M3. What else did I do? I did an E39 M5, bunch of videos you're probably seeing on the channel before this airs. And now it's March, and it is freezing outside. So I'm driving still with Blizzaks on the car. I have about 6,400 miles on the car. And again, if you watch my earlier videos, I bought this car slightly used with 900 miles on the clock. So that means I put about 5,500 in 6 months, which makes sense, close to about 1,000 miles a month. This pretty much is my daily driver. If I'm going far, I'm in New Jersey, say I'm going to Long Island or into New York City, or even like South Jersey, sometime I'll take my Jeep Cherokee if the roads are really salty or if it's snowy. But this, for the most part, is my daily driver. I probably drive this car, I'd say about 5 days a week. My favorite part about this car in the 6 months that I've owned it is the engine. This engine is a 2-liter. It is stock 26.5 pounds of boost, so it's a single turbo twin scroll, and the boost in this car is amazing. I usually drive it in manual mode, which will keep the car in its least intrusive traction control and stability control setting, so it's a lot more livelier, and I wouldn't say it's tail happy, but it's a lot more neutral. In comfort mode, you'll have some understeer with it, where here, you know what, there's traffic, we'll go this way. Where, I hope that sound is coming through in the video. So I like driving in manual mode because I'm a stick shift guy. So with the dual clutch transmission, I still like to be in control. So I drive it in manual mode where I can go up and down through the gears, pressing the paddles. Now with the GLA 45 in manual mode, it won't upshift for you. In the other modes it does. It will in sport mode. You can just mash your foot to the ground. Same for comfort mode, you won't redline. Here you'll get the fuel cutoff at about 6,000 RPM or 6,200, which is the red line. And it can be embarrassing because it goes pretty fast. I've had this engine before in my CLA 45 AMG. So that was the first, that's a trivia question for you. The first turbocharged car I ever owned was a CLA 45 AMG that I bought new in 2014, and I like the car. I like the car a lot. It had some understeer. Being 6 feet tall, I couldn't sit in the back seat. You probably had to be like 5'10" or under, maybe 5'9" to fit in the back seat. I couldn't fit there at 6 feet tall. And it was a great daily driver, certainly. I had actually this same set of snow tires, Blizzaks with the Motegi wheels on it, and it was a great winter car, great performance car. Got good gas mileage. And then I traded that car in for the M2. And I'm surprised when I sold it, there wasn't much of a market to buy one. Maybe when I got that CLA in 2014, which was the first year it came out, I got an early build slot. And I think maybe people were back ordered for those cars. So by the time I went to sell mine 2 years later, a little more than that, there really was no market for it, so I wound up trading it in. In New Jersey, where I live, if you trade a car in, you get that 7% tax savings. So just making up numbers, if you bought a car for 50, traded in a car for 35, you're only paying sales tax on that extra 15. Try to go to some side roads here. So my favorite thing about this car is the engine. Again, it was the first turbocharged motor I ever owned, and again, that was based on a CLA 45, which is the exact same motor as this car. But this car is just a rocket. I love this engine, which to me is one of the best things about the car. You do have to keep it, like I said, between 3,000 and 6,000 RPM. It's very easy to do with this dual clutch transmission. I really like this dual clutch transmission. Again, I really like stick shifts cars, so that's I guess a big thing for me to have an automatic or a dual clutch, but I actually like this. And for daily driver, it's great because you can go up and through the gear, down and through the gears. You really want to keep this engine on boil because it has such high boost. And these cars are tunable too. I haven't done it, but I heard there's a Rentec tune for it that gives you another like 100 foot-pounds of torque. So stock torque on these cars is 332 foot-pounds, and you can get, I think, approximately another 100 with the Rentec tune. And I think if you do it, get it installed at your Mercedes dealer, and I think it costs about $1,500 US dollars. You're covered with your full warranty, which is 4 years, 50,000 miles. This 4MATIC all-wheel drive is great with these snow tires, or winter tires if you will, Blizzaks. They really handled everything. We have a lot of ice here, handled it great. I did a video of this driving in the snow, and that handled great as well. When we had about 8 inches of snow, got out of my driveway no problem, was able to drive on any of the roads, whether they were plowed or not, so check out that video. So winter tires certainly make a huge difference. I really like the handling. This has a shorter wheelbase. It's 7 inches shorter than a GLA 45. And, you know, it's personal preference which one you think looks better. But I like that this one actually has a usable back seat. I can sit in the back seat no problem. So you can carry 4 adults with ease. You can, because it's a hatchback, and I like hatchbacks and wagons, you can hold the seat down, fold the seats down, and fit, you know, whatever you need to fit. So I have a big hockey bag. Even though the trunk doesn't look that big, you can check out my 5,000 mile review on this GLA 45, and you can see that no problem. The trunk swallows up a lot of stuff. Even though it doesn't look like it's that big, it's very efficient use of space. Same thing with this interior. It's not a big car. I believe it's smaller than my M2, but it actually fits more because it's a 4-door and it's a hatchback. Gas mileage has been pretty good. I think I'm getting in the mid-20s, and again, I like to rev it out. I think you can hear that. You can hear a little bit of turbo noise there. Hopefully this translates and you can hear that. This car has a sport exhaust on it, which I believe is like a $500 option from Mercedes, and it's well worth every penny. Instead of spending thousands on an aftermarket exhaust, this exhaust is very, very good, and you can get it for about 500 bucks. I also love these Recaro seats. There's an M3, an F80 M3. These Recaro seats, what I really wanted, when I spec'd my CLA 45 out new, I took the cloth interior. When I buy a car new, I typically just go with performance options. I knew I wasn't going to keep that car that long, probably just a couple years, so I didn't want to spend the money on the Recaros. But when I bought this car used, I only wanted one with Recaros. Just do a little acceleration. I really like driving this car. I just think it's so much fun to drive. It's just a phenomenal daily driver. Now, it does have a very stiff ride. I'm blocking the sun there. It does have a very stiff ride, so you might want to try before you buy. This has the base suspension, and it's stiff. So I went with the 19-inch wheels. I wasn't looking for 20s. 20s are optional, and they come in black, and they look cool. So I have the silver painted wheels, which are the base wheels at 19s. And I can tell you, you know, if you have a lot of potholed roads and rough roads like we have around here in the Northeast, you're probably better off with the 19-inch wheels. Like I may have I like the black look, so I may have the 19-inch silver wheels painted black, but the 20s were really too stiff for the street here. And if you get the sport package, here's another M4 convertible. Everybody's got their cars out, even though it's cold, but it's finally sunny. We get a lot of gloomy days here in the Northeast. But I think the 19-inch wheels are really the way to go here. The 20 inches are too stiff. If you get the sport package, I believe, you can hear some turbo noise on the acceleration there, and that hopefully the sport exhaust is coming out on the camera. If you get the sport suspension, you do get the bigger 20-inch wheels, and you got a couple more settings. You got like 5 suspension settings, I think, on the 2016 model, if I remember correctly, and I think there were 3 settings for the sport on the 15 model. This just have the base suspension. I think it's excellent for the street. I have no plans to track this car, so for street suspension, it's really phenomenal. Some good turns here, and it's a much more compliant ride. You don't want the car too stiff that, you know, your friends or family are not going to want to ride in it, and it's going to beat you up every day when, say, you're just going to work. So I think this is the perfect compromise. Now, I'm used to stiff cars. This is definitely way stiffer than my M2, I can tell you that for sure. It's way stiffer than the M2, but I come from a line of stiff cars. I had a Lotus Exige S, and really nothing is stiffer than that. So though this feels stiff to me, it's tolerable, where most people, or many people, say who aren't car enthusiasts, may think that this is a stiff ride. Now, there's launch control on this car. I used it a couple times with my CLA 45. It's a whole menu of all these things that you have to do, and then when you finally get there and you're on the brake, and you release the brake with your foot down on the gas to activate the launch control. When you get through all those steps, there's not many seconds. So I forget, there's like 5 or 6 steps you got to do, and then when you finally get to it, you really got to launch within 2 seconds. There's a Phantom Rolls Royce. You have to launch really within those 2 seconds or so. Otherwise, it starts all over again. So it's not that easy to use the launch control. It's not like some of the modern Porsches where you just step down on the brake and gas, release the brake, and you go. If it was that way, I would use it more often. But you know, my CLA, I used it. It was a novelty. You show your friends it a couple times on some deserted roads, and then after that, you don't do it again because it's just so complex. I don't know that it's much faster than you doing a launch yourself. It's an all-wheel drive car, so if you put it in sport mode, it'll accelerate close to as fast. Maybe launch mode limits the wheel spin a little bit and will help you, but realistically in the street, I don't think it's that much of a difference. If you were at the track, it may be a different story. So what, again, I love about this car, what surprised me the most about this car, I knew it had a fantastic engine because I had the CLA 45, but what really surprised me about this car is how good it handles. So I think Motor Trend did the best review on this car. They compare it with the Macan S, and they have had this car really digs into the turns, and there is a little bit of body roll. If you look ahead straight enough, I can keep the car pretty flat. I don't think there really is the body roll. Maybe compared to your best sports cars that don't have any roll at all, but I would say if I was describing this car to an enthusiast, this car has very, very, very little body roll. It's almost kind of like a point-and-shoot car, and you can keep the turbo on boil with the paddle shifters here, and really have some fun with this car. Like, I would definitely take it to your favorite mountain road. You know, I'm sure you could track it. You would, put on very sticky tires, of course, but sun's in my eyes. But I'm sure you could track this car if you really wanted to. But I think it's a great car because it's one car. Look, there's a bus. It's a car that really can do everything. I kind of look at it 2 ways: as a grown-up Mitsubishi Evolution, or basically a luxury version of the Subaru STI wagon. Now, right now, they're not making your Subaru STI wagon. I think they're bringing one back in the next couple of years. So that may change things. Of course, that car comes in stick where this car doesn't, so that would be an advantage for that car. But here you can have everything you like about Mercedes, but this is not your typical V8 AMG. It's the new era with high-strung 4-cylinder turbocharged cars, and this car is about 4.2 seconds to 60. You can certainly get, if you drive it normally, 30 miles to the gallon on the highway. It is noisier in here. It is not like a S-Class. You probably hear we're on the highway now, going probably 60 miles an hour, and it sounds pretty loud in here. So this might not be a car that if you're on the phone a lot and you care about being on conference calls and stuff like that, this may not be the car for you. I have the command system with the navigation. To be honest with you, I just use Waze. I really don't use the navigation. It's fine, but I don't think it's great. Take some great turns around here. The handling is just really good. I mean, here's a real tight turn. You can really go into a turn at any speed you want. You can downshift, keep that engine on boil, 5,000 RPM, brake to make the rest of the turn. We're down to 4,000 RPM, accelerate, shift at 6, and again, you can have the power to pass any car you want here. Now, if you leave it in manual mode, what I usually do is, right now I'm in 7th gear on the highway. To realistically pass somebody, you have to drop probably 2 gears if you're going 65 miles an hour. What I usually do is if I know I'm going to be on the highway, I just put it in comfort mode. It's just easier, so I don't have to worry about dropping gears. It'll kick down pretty quickly if you want to pass somebody. Around town, if I'm sitting in traffic, any dual clutch transmission, especially in 1st gear, is a little bit jerky in traffic, certainly. So what I do is I'm going in a city or going around traffic, I just put it in comfort mode and go from there. This way I don't have to worry about it. There is it will shut off automatically. It has an eco mode in comfort mode where if you're stopped at a light and the engine's warm, it will shut it off for you. You can press a button on the dash. I forget now, but I think there's an eco button so you can shut off that auto stop start. It doesn't bother me, so I don't mind having it. So I'm in comfort mode right now. It'll just give me the drive setting. It'll do the gears for me. Always trying to get into the highest gear to give you the best gas mileage. Now when I'm coming off towards an exit, I press the button twice, and now I am in manual mode. So I just went down from 7th, 6th, 5th. If you hold it down, it'll actually do 2 gears for you, I believe, but it didn't do it that time. You can actually downshift to 1st if you're really close, and it will. And what it will do is rev match for you. There was a downshift to 2nd there. So instead of lugging in 2nd gear, you can actually go down to 1st. I think it'll rev match at any time. I wait till I'm pretty close, like 5 miles an hour, and then I'll put it into 1st like I just did there. It'll rev match for me. We'll go under a tunnel here. Wow, it sounded really good. And the exhaust really has the crackles and burbles. I love that sport exhaust. When you get off the gas, it'll crack and pop and sounds really amazing. So I'm very satisfied that I bought this car. I think what might hurt it is the price of a new one. They sell for, this car was $61,000 new, and it's a slick top, so it doesn't come with a sunroof. I forget what other couple options is missing, the sports suspension. So this car could have easily had another $4,000 in options and be a $65,000 car. I shopped this around trying to find a slightly used one with a new one, and I did find a new one that had those options for $65,000. The 16s have a little more horsepower, an extra 25 horsepower over this, which obviously you can easily make up with a tune. This is a 2015, which is actually the 1st year for the GLA. The CLA, the sedan, actually came out in 2014 here in the United States. So I was able, on a new one, a 16 with a 65 sticker, I was able to negotiate about $7,000 off sticker. Now, I think if I really waited to the end of the year, I think this was late summer, if I waited to probably October when the 2017 models were out. It would have been a leftover 16. I feel like I probably could have got about 10,000, but that was still 55,000. And you know, once I drive off the lot, it's a year-old car and it's going to be worth 45,000. So I said, well, why don't I just buy this for 45,000? It only has 900 miles on it, and I'm really glad I did. So by saving that extra $15,000 or 20,000 off the sticker, you know, that's an extra 15 or 20,000 towards my next car, and that's the way I look at it. So again, I drove this a little bit on the highway. I've been driving this all on these back roads here, and it's just a phenomenal drive. You never thought you'd have a little hot hatch that you'd be taking on the back roads, because when people see it, they just think it's a CUV. They just think it's a very small SUV, you know, a little tiny Mercedes SUV with no power. They don't realize how much of a sports car that this car really is. And again, we can make this car quiet. The sport exhaust is loud in manual mode and in sport mode. So if you want it to be quiet, like you're on a residential street like we are now, or coming home late at night, you don't want to wake up your neighbors, you put it in comfort mode and it's nice and quiet. I wish the comfort mode was like on the steering wheel, so I don't have to look down. At slow speeds under 15 miles an hour, you could actually accidentally put it in park. But again, this is my 6-month review. We have about 6,400 miles on the car. I put on everything except for the first 900. I love this car to death. I think it's a great daily driver. I think I'm going to keep it for a while. And I highly recommend this car, whether it's a weekend fun car, but I think I primarily recommend it to a daily driver. Try it out first. Just make sure the ride's not too stiff for you. You know, if you're commuting on potholed roads or real roads that we have like in this New York City area, it may be too stiff. Then I would probably forego the sport suspension and go with the 19-inch wheels. But I just think it's a phenomenal daily driver. Whether you need to fit 4 adults in it or you know, 2 baby seats, I think this is a great car. It's a very tunable car. It handles great. It's fast. It gets good gas mileage. And most important, it's fun to drive. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button for this video. Be sure to leave a positive comment below. And of course, be sure to subscribe. We try to come out with new videos almost every day. Thanks again for your support. This channel only exists with you. Thanks again for watching. Take care.